Hey guys, what is happening? AnimetalViking here, and today I have an album review for you guys. This is an album that must be checked out at all freaking costs because this is an album that I'm quite happy to say I'm glad I accidentally stumbled upon and was a complete and total surprise for me. Absolutely pleasant surprise. It just blew me away, and I felt I needed to review this album like straight away. Yeah, without further delay, let us get into this. Okay, so the album is called Daemonolatry Gnosis by the band Dawn of Ashes. Now, when I discovered this album, I initially thought this was this band's, their debut release, their debut record, whatever. Turns out it's not. After a bit of research, turns out this band was founded in 2000 and they released their debut record in 2005. And from what I can see here, they went through many different phases. I haven't checked out their older material, though. If anyone who is a fan of this band and is watching this video, if any of you who are fans of this band want to see me do a discography review of this band's material, let me know in the comments below. Also consider donating to my Patreon, as one of the reward tiers is submissions for suggestions for discography and album reviews and anime reviews as well. Anyway, plugins aside, these guys seem to have gone through many different phases. Apparently, in their early years, they did some dark electronic music along the lines of EBM and agrotech, and then they eventually evolved into a melodic black metal band, then a blend of industrial metal and melodic black metal. Then they broke up for a few years, and then they returned now with this record. So from what I heard on this album seems to be kind of like what Carnifex did when they went on their year-long hiatus. It seems to me, judging from how this band's musical history has gone, it seems to me that this band took a look back at their material and were like, okay, we like doing this, we like doing this, we like doing this, and other such artists are our major influences, the other ones are minor ones. We are going to take everything that we are and we're going to put it all together into this one album and make it our best record ever. I'm assuming that for anyone who is aware of this band and has been listening to this band, I can only assume that you guys were, like myself, you were blown away when you heard this album and thoughts of it as a triumphant return. But I could be wrong. I'm just assuming here. Maybe you guys are still into their older material more. But anyways, this album definitely blew me away, and it deceived me from the very first track. Like, when I discovered the album, I saw the tags as to what it's labeled as, and I was like, oh, symphonic black metal. Well, I've been listening to a lot of Dimmu Borgir, Karach Angren, and all that lately, so might as well give it a bash. So I'm listening to the album. The first three tracks they are dark, but not very dark. They are very atmospheric, uplifting in a strange way, and definitely reminded me of the band Mechina in a lot of ways. And yeah, I was sitting listening to this thinking like, hell, this can't be symphonic black metal. I mean, sure, it's got a black metal edge to it, but it sounds more like cyber metal. So I sat there listening through the first three tracks, and I was kind of like, oh, this is going to be, epic and uplifting, maybe a little bit, something like that. And then we get to the fourth track. From the fourth track on, the songs get darker and darker and darker, and on top of it all, they get more and more epic in scale. the songs on this album, they it seems like 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes seems to be their maximum length, so it's definitely slightly over the usual song length. But it's really strange how the album, like I said, it deceives you in the beginning, and then it just pulls you in for the ride, and then before you know it, it's over. So if there are any complaints I have about this album, that's it. It's the fact that you listen to it, and then within a blink of an eye, it's over. It's not too long of a record, but in my opinion, an album that does that is a sign of a good record. Because albums that feel like they take too long to listen to generally get boring for me, and I tend to either stop listening to the album, change to something else, or something like that. I cannot stand listening to something that is way too long in length. I mean, I can stomach long songs, but not if it's too long. This album definitely, from what I can see, seems to be an amalgamation of everything that they were in the past. It's got a lot of industrial elements here. It's definitely got a lot of black metal elements. It's very melodic, very symphonic, and this has to be, out of all the black metal records that I've listened to so far, because I'm going to be honest with you people here, I'm not a huge fan of black metal. I'm really not. It is not my genre preference. If anything, I'm more of a melodic death metal and deathcore kind of a guy. But nonetheless, this, out of all the black metal albums that I've listened to so far, this is definitely the heaviest. It is the most well produced. The guitars, the drumming, the synths, everything, the vocals, even everything's well produced, clean cut. It is you can hear the vocals clearly, you can hear everything clearly. The songwriting is very tight. It's all together, it flows nicely, tracks flow wonderfully into one another. It kind of gives the feeling that it's a concept album. I don't know if it's a concept album because according to their wiki page, which hasn't been updated for a little while, and their Bandcamp page, doesn't say anything. But it's really like I said, it pulls you in, and then at the end of it, you just want to hit that play button again and just listen to it from start to finish again. It's an incredible album. It really is one of the best albums I've heard so far this year. Who knows, it could be in my top 10 metal albums of 2017 list, unless something else comes out that blows it out of the water. But it's absolutely incredible. I was pleasantly surprised by this, just pure blown away. When I was listening to this, I could not stop thinking about Neon Genesis Evangelion and how perfect this album would have been as the soundtrack. It's just a one hell of a ride, one hell of an experience. And I mean, there were so many things to enjoy about this album. The synths were on point. I loved their choice, the band's choice in synths. The songwriting for the orchestral parts was just incredible. There was just so much about this album that I loved. And while it is while it gets darker, it's definitely one of the less creepy black metal albums that I have heard. Another thing I liked were the vocals. The vocals on here were extremely good. The vocals kind of reminded me of the kind of shrieks that Scott Ian Lewis of Carnifex does. So obviously this kind of appealed to me from the vocal stance. Again, the synths were my kind of synths, very Mechina and Enigma TNG sounding. I fucking loved it. The drumming was just my kind of drumming, fast, very tight on time, everything. And yeah, the songwriting was just very epic, tight, put together. And yeah, I keep saying these same words a lot, but that's the only way I can describe it. If you are a fan of Demoborger, Cradle of Filth, Karach Angren, The Enigma TNG, and Mechina, I highly recommend you check this album out. You can stream it on the band's Bandcamp from the looks of things here. You can also check out their previous albums if you so wish. Yeah, I think the album's also available for streaming on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So definitely give it a listen. I highly recommend it. It is a fantastic album if you're looking for something dark and epic. So yeah, this album is definitely going in for consideration on my top 10 metal albums of 2017 list. So yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in for this review. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like me to review the band's past works or any other bands that have upcoming albums, if you want me to review their past works, then be sure to check out my Patreon to see how you can do so, to submit your suggestions. Also, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and share this video with your friends. Also, guys, don't forget to follow me on all my different social media platforms, which is Facebook, Twitter, my anime list. You can send me a friend request on my anime list, and I have a subreddit now, so you can subscribe to my subreddit and follow me there. And I also have a VidMe page where you can see all of my videos that run into problems with YouTube's copyright system. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and until the next episode, take care and have a kick-ass day.